about as real as a pancake's gonna look right there. But this is still quite tasty, very good treat. I'm a little averse to having baked goods like this. Would I recommend that the average person do a diet like this? Welcome back to the Anabolic Hub, where we make anabolic deliciousness. We're back inside my kitchen today, and we're doing another full day of eating. We're gonna be copying Chris Bumstead's reverse dieting meal plan. This looks very interesting. He just put out another full day of eating video. I'll link to it in the description box down below if you wanna check it out later. But he's doing a reverse diet. After winning the Olympia, he's gearing back his calories to probably his maintenance level, I would say, and he's doing it in a very controlled manner by still having some of the foods that he ate during his prep, but also having some foods to reincorporate into his diet that make it a little more flavorful, we'll say. But it's a very interesting process. I'm very curious to see how this day goes. Obviously, I didn't go through a prep. I'm not competing in any bodybuilding competitions, let alone the Olympia, but I'm curious how a meal plan like this would feel, have you feeling on just a regular diet plan. So we're gonna give it a go, see how it compares to more of a Greg Doucette type anabolic circle diet type of foods that I've been eating lately. So with no further ado, let's get right into it here with our first meal. So before Chris actually got to his first meal of the day, he was already out somewhere. I think he did some hot yoga and he was feeling a little bit under the weather, so he decided to kick off his day with some beet juice. I have something similar here. Gonna try this. Never had beet juice before, so I'm kind of curious what it tastes like. I'm not having very high expectations on flavor, but we'll see. And there was also some other small little other bougie overpriced drink that he ate that I really didn't want to look for, but we'll try the beet juice. We'll give it a go. So let's crack this open here and see exactly what it tastes like, if it's gross or if it's palatable at all. Let's find out. Bottoms up. Ooh, it's not bad. It's definitely tastes like vegetables, beets, if you will, but actually doesn't taste bad. There's some sweetness in there. I'm sure there's something sweet. Let's see what we got here. Oh yeah, a little bit of lemon juice in there to help sweeten it up a bit. And that's really it. It's beet juice and lemon juice. Actually doesn't taste that bad. There's 140 calories in this entire container, so I'm probably not going to drink all of it, but I'll have about half, and then we'll get into meal number one. So I'll see you over there. And we're over here for meal number one. We're gonna be blending up some pancake batter. Gonna try to fit everything into this cup here. Even when Chris did it in his video, he used, I think, whatever the Vitamix version is of this. This is for the Ninja blender, of course. And it kind of all fit in, so I'm curious if this is all gonna fit in here. I'm trying to use this because I don't want to have to clean out the entire Ninja blender, but I digress. Let's start adding everything in here, and then we'll figure out if it's actually gonna fit. In worst case scenario, I gotta dump it into the big version of the blender anyway. So let's get it going here. Adding in our oats first. We need 60 grams of these. Boy, it really made my life harder here putting it into a bowl. Painfully slow, but we have our 60 grams of our oats in there. Next up, we're gonna be putting in half of a banana that I have here, already cut, ready to go. That's in there. And then we're gonna need 50 grams of our pumpkin, which of course I didn't pre-open, so you get to watch me do it here. Negative scale measuring system, we need 50 grams of the pumpkin. And Chris used this in his recipe as well, 8 grams of the Fibro IMO powder. Go, 8 on the dot. And he used his protein powder in his recipe. I'm gonna use Greg's because this stuff just really does taste amazing. So we need 1 scoop. And of course, you know, the scoops that you get are always bigger than actually 1 scoop. So we need 32 grams of this going in. Then 230 grams of our egg whites. And of course it's not enough, so I gotta grab a backup container, be right back. Thought for sure I had at least 230 grams in there, but obviously not, only 184, so let's top it off with our second container. And then he says a splash of almond milk. I'm gonna use cashew milk. I don't know why, I guess it's for flavor. Let's see, let's put it in there. Just a splash, all right. And we are right at that max fill line there, so I think we're gonna be good. Let's go over to the base and blend this up. Done, okay, over to the base. and we blend. All right, I think that's long enough. Chris didn't specify, but it looks all blended together. Let's go cook it. And we've sprayed down the pan and we have it hit with some nonstick cooking spray. This batter is wicked soupy. So I have a feeling like it's gonna go everywhere. It does make a lot of pancakes though, so I'm gonna pour less than last time and see how many I can make, and then we can see the pile on the plate after, but let's get cooking. So that's the first 4. I think I have maybe enough batter for 2 more pancakes, maybe 3, but I think it's probably closer to 2. We'll let these finish cooking up. I'll cook the rest, and then we'll take it over for the old taste test. By far and away, the best pancake flip job on the channel yet. And after scraping down the sides, I got almost 4 more pancakes to go here to cook. This one's a little bit smaller, but other than that, we're gonna end up here with about 8 pancakes to eat, which is phenomenal from a volume standpoint. We'll find out how they taste in a second. And here we are for the real #1 meal of the day. I don't think that beet juice can be considered a meal, although I have to say it wasn't bad. Getting it down was actually quite easy. But these pancakes here, they do smell delicious. There's a decent amount of volume to them. They do actually look like pancakes too. Let me show you. It's about as real as a pancake's gonna look right there. And we got 8 total. They are pretty thin. I usually like my pancakes a little bit thicker, but if they taste half as good as they smell, I think we're in for a real treat here. I think Chris actually has this exact same syrup that he says he will put on these pancakes every now and then, but I'm also gonna spice it up a little bit more with some Swerve confectioner's sugar over the top. No calories, so who cares? Just adding some flavor. So I'm gonna put that on there, a little bit of syrup, and we'll see how they taste. And some syrup. Always add more later. Hardly any calories in this anyway. Okay, let's give it the old taste test here. We're gonna go right down the stack. And here we go. Any good? Let's find out. Not bad. They taste like banana pancakes. That HDLT protein powder actually works pretty good in these. Good flavor. These are pretty decent, I have to say. Good amount here. I think there's a little less than 600 calories in these. The whole recipe, I mean. It's not bad. I mean, I've had better. I think Greg has better options in his cookbook, and the version of blueberry pancakes that I did are phenomenal. I actually prefer those to these. But overall, in terms of simplicity, these aren't bad at all. Very nice. Could also add in some guar gum. That might help thicken them up a little bit, give them a little more volume. But for the most part here, this is pretty decent, I have to say. I can't imagine being hungry after this. Chris said he doesn't have pancakes every single day. Sometimes he'll mix it up and have a thicker shake with a lot of volume in it. But on this day, he had decided to do pancakes, and glad he did. These are pretty good. Nice to try. All right, I'll finish up this meal, and I'll see you at the next one. So Chris mentioned after he has his breakfast, or shortly thereafter he has his breakfast, he'll go and have his shake that he would have in place of the pancakes, like I mentioned before, except he doesn't add a scoop of protein powder. He puts some cocoa powder in it to make it a little more chocolatier, and he gets in some of his greens and some of his supplements at that point. I have a little modified version of that I'm gonna show you, so, well, here it is. So this is my modified version I'm gonna be having today. I'm gonna be doing this greens drink that you can see here, and then for my supplements, I'm actually gonna have them in pill form. I'm gonna be having my fish oil, vitamin D3, some turmeric. The only other supplements I'd have would be glucosamine, which I just happen to be out of. It's on its way, and creatine, which I'll typically have during my workout or with a pre-workout or something like that. So I'm gonna have these right now, and then we'll get on to the next meal, so let's give them a try. Got our greens drink here. Gonna have this first sip, best sip, probably not, but we'll give it a try. You know, for drinking greens, not as bad as you might think. So I guess we'll take this with the supplements here. Grab these there, in they go. Looking at the viewfinder. Delicious. We'll take down the rest of this greens drink, which only has 35 calories total, so, you know, not much in here at all. And we're gonna go on to the next meal. I'll see you over there. the taste test table, yet again, alternate angle to try our next meal, our chicken fajita rice bowl and our egg white wraps. Chris uses the egg white wraps because it's a little less in calories, and of course they're going to be higher in protein, so it's a good way to get in a nice low calorie wrap. And of course, like I said, add on to your protein. These here smell pretty good. You know, I've had a chicken fajita bowl before. I think he actually used turkey in his video, but we're going to assemble these, give them a try. We'll see how they taste. We also have some sugar-free ketchup and some sriracha for a little extra flavor flav, because the rest of this stuff, to be perfectly honest, is pretty bland. So flavor's got to come from somewhere, and it's a reverse diet, so we don't have to worry about adding this other stuff in, right? Because we don't have to measure everything out to the exact gram. We are reintroducing new foods here, post-Olympia. Chris is, not me. That's enough talking about it. Let's give it a try. I'm gonna swap these two over here, and I'm gonna add on some of this stuff first, because I have a feeling if I put the condiments on, that it's all just gonna fall through the egg white wrap. I actually made my own egg white wraps. Chris bought some store-bought, but the Protein Chef has a great egg white wrap. I'll link to it in the description box down below if you wanna try it. Super simple to make, not a lot of ingredients at all. It's basically 2 ingredients and then some spices, but I digress. Let's get back to the building process here. Gonna grab a scoop of our fajita rice bowl, throw some right in the center of our wrap, and we'll go with sriracha on the first one here. Spice up our life a little, drizzle some of this right over the top. There's basically nothing in this stuff. And we're gonna fold this one up that way. I feel like it's all gonna fall apart, but you know what? Is what it is. Worst case scenario, it drops onto the bottom of our other wrap, ready to go. Let's give it a bite. Tasty. A little messy. I think the store-bought egg white wraps hold together a bit better, but we could just make this into one big bowl and just throw everything on top and eat it like a plated meal. Don't underestimate that sriracha. This is good stuff. I'm gonna give it a try again here for a second bite. It's just gonna be a messy meal and I'm okay with it. Delicious, low-calorie way to have some wraps. Loaded with protein. Quite tasty. I'm gonna finish the rest of this stuff up and I'll see you at the next meal. Bye. Up next, we're going to be making our nice little single serving here of some protein ice cream. Chris likes to mix in these treats when he's reverse dieting, works them in around his chicken, broccoli, and rice type of meals. Like we just had that fajita bowl. We're going to have chicken, broccoli, and rice later. Preview. We're going to spice it up a little bit, but I digress. Mixing in treats like this is one way he reverse diets without totally going in the opposite direction, having a ton of junk food, still incorporating some of the foods he had on his prep, but starting to enjoy life a little bit more with some of the treats like this. So we're gonna get this recipe going here. It's quite simple. I already have our ice in the cup. We're gonna add in yet another banana. We're gonna put that into here next. Already pushing maximum density. And he's really guessing on the measurements here. He doesn't give specific amounts. He just says he puts this in, he puts that in. So next up, after our ice and banana, we're gonna put in some of our nut milk. He used almond milk, I'm using cashew milk. Not sure that it matters. Hopefully I've made enough protein ice cream where I can guesstimate the right ratios. Let's see. That looks about right. And in his video, he also used Coach Greg's whey protein powder. I'm doing it too, the vanilla peanut butter, 1 scoop going in here. And that's it, that's gonna go, and we're gonna level the playing field as exercise for cheat meals says. Now we're gonna pop the top on here, over to the base we go, and we blend. And back over. And that seems to have mixed up rather well, but let's put it in the bowl and we'll give it a try. Ooh, good consistency. Not Coach Greg over the head consistency, but it's protein ice cream milkshakiness type of texture. Dump it in the bowl here. Decent amount of volume. And then Chris says he tops it with a little bit of cereal. It wasn't specific as to what cereal, so I figured let's add some color to it. We got some Fruit Loops going right on top. Nice disbursement over the top. Perfect. All right, let's have a try right now. Okay, here we go. Protein ice cream, Coach Greg's whey protein powder, just like Chris used. He said he enjoyed it. I'm curious how this tastes. Let's dive right in and see how it is. Very nice. Man, that vanilla peanut butter protein powder is really good. It's great stuff. Coach Greg was right. That's a really nice flavor. As we know with protein ice cream, consistency is really all about preference. This is probably a little less thick than I would like. Doesn't mean it's bad, but preferably I like my cream a little bit thicker. But this is still quite tasty, very good treat, especially with this little bit of cereal on top that doesn't add much to the calories whatsoever. Reintroducing some fun flavors back into the world. Reverse dieting at its finest. The banana adds a good texture, good flavor to it, gives you some natural sweetness. Obviously very simple to put together. It's just all the ingredients go into that single serve cup. You blend it up, you get yourself a nice quick treat. Made it in probably less than 5 minutes. So easy to do. And after prep, this is gonna feel like heaven on earth, no doubt. Okay, I'm gonna finish this up here, and I guess we'll see you at the next meal. I'm just kidding. We're back in our traditional spot at the taste test table here to have our next meal, and no, that was not Velveeta cheese that you saw me pouring over this chicken, broccoli, and rice bowl. It's actually butternut squash soup, which I think is a fantastic idea. If you're gonna have this chicken, broccoli, and rice, you might as well spice it up some way. No better way than that. I was excited to see Chris use that because I never get to have butternut squash anything. My wife doesn't like it. I love it. So this opportunity to have it here was something I was more than happy to jump all over. Now, mine did come out of a can, so it's not gonna be as good as the homemade version that Chris had, no doubt. Not even having tried it, I already know that, but I'm still excited to try it here. So with no further ado, I have to go get a utensil because I'm not gonna eat this with my bare hands, so I'll be right back. And as you can tell, full days of eating, a little bit different methodology to it. So sometimes I forget things like, a utensil at the taste test table. Don't ask me how, but I digress. We have our utensil now. Let's dig in and try it. Chicken, broccoli, and rice, usually pretty bland. Let's see if this spices it up enough. I could get into this. This is something that works. Normally, I take Coach Greg's philosophy on chicken, broccoli, and rice. Why would you do that to yourself? This is actually pretty nice. I like this. This is good. I do think in Chris's video, as I recall, he had just plain chicken, broccoli, and rice, as I think it was a pre-workout meal. And then later on, after his workout, he came and he had this with the butternut squash on top. I'm skipping the plain chicken, broccoli, and rice today for 2 reasons. 1, it's disgusting. And 2, I don't need it for my calories. Obviously, Chris, much bigger dude than me. He's Mr. Olympia, so he needs a lot more calories than I do. I'm cutting that out today. Should put me right about at my maintenance calories for the day. But I digress. Let's continue eating our delicious chicken, broccoli, and rice with butternut squash soup on top. I thought maybe I might have to tell you I'm not gonna eat the rest of this, but I think I'm actually gonna eat the rest of it and then, see you at the next meal. Next up for our meal, we have 3 veggie wraps. Chris likes to load up on the volume, as you can imagine. After his prep, reverse dieting, he does not want to get hungry. This is a great way to add in some volume for low calories. Always a good thing. We know Coach Greg Doucette's always preaching, eat your veggies, they're high volume, low calorie, they'll fill you up. No different here. We have our 3 wraps right here, ready to go. We got our assembly line of veggies and chicken that we're gonna get going with. And we also made a little bit of dressing here, homemade, Thousand Island fat-free, and some spices in there. A little Southwest kick to go with our Southwest veggie mix here that Chris used in his video. So with no further ado, let's assemble and then we'll go over and taste test. And our 3 veggie wraps, of course, assembled, ready for the good old-fashioned taste test here. They look pretty good, definitely high volume, definitely fairly low cal with the protein count being pretty high. Veggies are very filling, lots of fiber, very little calories. They definitely make you feel full. Let's see how good these wraps taste. I've never had any wraps like this before. Usually I do the Coach Greg style with a lot of spinach, some lean meats, and then some 0 calorie or low calorie sauce. So I'm very curious how this Southwest flair type of wrap actually tastes. So let's grab the one right here. Hopefully it doesn't completely fall apart on me. These are wrapped pretty good though, I have to say. First bite, best bite, who knows? Let's try it.
almost refreshing. All those vegetables in there, really, really nice. Good crunch. You got those shredded carrots and the cucumber giving you a nice texture, crunchiness to it. Definitely feels like you're eating something healthy, but it doesn't taste bad by any means. Lots of flavor with that sauce that I put on there. Very satisfying little crunch wrap here. What a super easy way to change up your wraps. It's just like the baby spinach that's ready to go that you put on your wrap. You buy the Southwest veggies in the bag already washed, ready to go. Put them on your wraps. Add your lean protein. A couple more veggies if you like cucumber. And you're good to go. Very simple. Done in less than 5 minutes. You're enjoying, feeling full, satisfied. This is good. When Chris made his wraps, he actually had 3 as well, but one of them was one of those egg white wraps again. I didn't feel like making another one of those. Plus, making it at home, it's kind of like, feels like an omelet that you're just kind of wrapping something in. Kind of like that Remington James pizza quesadilla. Still feels like you're picking up eggs and you're eating eggs with your hands. It's just not very pleasant. So these wraps are already low calorie enough. Fiber One wraps, only 70 calories a wrap, so I wasn't worried about the calories here. Definitely fit into my maintenance calories easily. We have one more special treat meal to have. This one looks like it could be quite tasty, although I'm a little averse to having baked goods like this. You'll see what I mean in a second, but I'm gonna finish up these wraps, and for you it'll be instantaneous. I'll see you in a little bit. Next meal, last one. Okay, bye.
Okay, we are here for the last meal of the day, a nice little dessert to cap things off. We're gonna be doing Chris's version of a mug cake. So why don't we take a look at our ingredients here. As you can see, we have our egg whites, pumpkin puree ready to go. You can tell we're in vlog mode, so we're prepared. We're gonna use some of Coach Greg's vegan protein powder, the chocolate peanut butter version. I think that's gonna work quite nicely. Some all-purpose flour, some baking powder, not baking soda, baking powder, but of course we'll also be putting in some baking soda as well. Our chocolate chips, pre-measured and on the money of course, and then a nice little topping, some banana chips. Just a banana, chopped up. That's it. Okay, so let's get to the assembly process, starting with our egg whites. We're gonna be putting in 110 grams. Might help if I turn the scale on so I can actually see what I'm putting in. By the way, I love how Chris just says, I put in 110 grams of egg whites because that's what I had left. That's a man who was very strict with his diet for a long time during prep. Anyway, getting back here, we're gonna be putting in 110 grams of egg whites. I have more, but that's what he used, so that's what we'll use. Going in. We went a little over, but not gonna worry about it. 3 grams of egg whites is nothing. Next, we need 50 grams of our pumpkin puree. You know what that means. Negative scale measuring system. Scooping out 50. This is harder to do in vlog mode than you'd think. And I got exactly 50, but gonna have to do a scrape down here, so pause for a moment. And I say pause for a moment, but as you know, it is instantaneous for you. So we are going to be putting in next our 1 scoop of our vegan protein powder, of course, from HTLT. Like I said, our chocolate peanut butter, we're gonna be putting in 32 grams here. This stuff is thick with 3 C's, even before you start mixing it. And exactly 32 grams. On the money again. Next, we need a heaping scoop of our all-purpose flour. You can tell Chris has had quite the protein powder in his past because that's what the instructions always say. Take 1 heaping scoop in 16 ounces of water, but who's having protein powder in water these days? Anyway, I digress. Let's grab our heaping scoop. That might be a double heaping scoop. You guys tell me, is that a heaping scoop? Let me know in the comment section. Either way, it's going in. Then it's 1 gram of the baking powder, not baking soda, baking powder. And then it is 1 gram of our baking soda. And if you think I'm scooping it out of the bag, you are nuts. Already preloaded here. Hopefully there's at least 1 gram in there. Let's reset the scale. 1 gram. Is it gonna change? Yes, exactly 1 gram. How about that? All right, now I have to put you down because we gotta mix. Now that we're all mixed up here, we gotta microwave this for 2 minutes, although Chris does say it's all about personal preference, and of course he's right. I guess if you like yours a little bit gooier in the center, you should do it for 2 minutes. If you like it a little more solidified, you should go longer. Good general rule, every 30 seconds for a mug cake. Find the consistency you want, and then take it out. But we're gonna do it the same way Chris did. 2 minutes in the microwave on high. Let's do it. Won't make you watch it. We're gonna magically come back with it already done and ready to go. And through the magic of editing, here we are. Mug cake has been cooked 2 minutes exactly. It is, of course, as Greg would say, hotter than last time. So I have an oven mitt on underneath the bowl. You can probably still see the steam coming out of it. We're gonna flip this over just like Chris did. His ended up coming right out of the bowl. Hoping this is the case here. We'll find out. And mug cake in a bowl. So does that make it a bowl cake? I don't know. You tell me in the comment section. Anyway, let's flip this over so we can put our banana chips on and then try it. Okay, so sort of as promised by Chris, the center there you can almost tell is still a little gooey, which I happen to like as well. So really excited to try it. We're gonna put the banana bits on and then we'll go taste it. Here we are, the last meal of the day on the Chris Bumstead reverse dieting meal plan. Been enjoying it, I have to say, up to this point. Let's try the last meal and then I'll give a full assessment after that. Let's see how good this mug cake is. I've mentioned in the past, not a huge fan of these things. Not my most favorite food. I think baked goods belong in the oven, but let's see, this one could change my mind. Let's try it. We'll get a little bit of the outside first. Struggling to get a piece. That's what we're gonna try there. Does not look appetizing. Let's try it, who knows. A lot less dry than I expected. Usually these mug cakes are drier than sand, but this is actually pretty good. Oh, I forgot about the chocolate chips. They're more to the center. Ooh, this could change the whole game right here. Get yourself some of those chocolate chips and it's even better. Works really well with that banana topping too. And I've kind of dug my way to the center there because I want to get some of that gooiness straight on, so we're gonna try that next here. Almost directly in the center with chocolate chips, banana, and a little bit of the gooiness of the mug cake. Let's try it. That might be pure fire right there. I'm gonna go 2 minutes on my mug cakes from now on. This seems to be the perfect amount of cooking time. I think usually I do 3 minutes. This could be a game changer. Maybe I can get into these now. I don't know. Maybe it's Chris's recipe. Maybe it's Coach Greg's vegan protein powder. It is optimized for baking, so maybe he means the microwave too. You know, as much as it pains me to say, because I'm usually against these things, this is the best mug cake I've ever had. This is actually quite satisfying and tastes quite good. Texture-wise, it's the best I've ever had. And there's a lot of it too. Very satisfying. Otherwise, I wish the chocolate chips were dispersed a little bit better, but now we're just nitpicking. Petty Roosevelt over here. Petty Roosevelt. Anyway, sometimes with the straight up anabolic diet, you feel like you're just eating artificial food all day. Similar to how I felt after doing the Will Tennyson full day of eating. Getting some greens in, more vegetables spread out throughout the day, even our chicken broccoli, the broccoli and the chicken broccoli and rice, that is actually good. Getting those micros in, the green drink, felt phenomenal after that, by the way. Definitely a little different style than I would normally eat. Obviously, I do eat mostly anabolic foods on a regular basis. I eat, for the most part, out of Rem's or mostly out of Greg's cookbook anyhow. Plus, obviously, my own recipes that I make as well, so you should definitely check those out. Would I recommend that the average person do a diet like this? I think you could. I don't think you could call it reverse dieting. Obviously, most people aren't trying to get into prep shape. They're not standing up on stage at the Olympia. The types of foods that he's eating are probably something you could eat every day and not really have a big issue with it. I do like, from a physical fitness standpoint, from an overall health standpoint, not gorging yourself on unhealthy foods. Greg's always preaching that to us. You shouldn't finish a show and then just go and have a bunch of horrible foods, gain a bunch of body fat, and then just wait to cut again. I think Chris is doing it right by slowly adding in foods that are more like treats, but still healthy, not going completely off of the prep routine where he was likely having a lot of chicken, broccoli, and rice and very plain, bland foods, but building those special meals, those treats around what he was eating before and slowly adding in calories back into his diet. I think that's the healthiest approach you could possibly do. The worst thing you can do for your body is to have big fluctuations in having no calories to a ton of calories, or having super healthy foods in your gut to having awful foods in your gut. It's just gonna throw your system into haywire. It's gonna be very hard to stay consistent. If the goal is, and what I think it should be, is to stay healthy year round, it's a great method if you're gonna go to such an extreme of entering a bodybuilding competition to gear it back slow and not have a ton of junk food all at once. I'm curious of what your thoughts are. Have any of you out there done a bodybuilding competition, been super strict on prep, and then had to go and do something like a reverse diet? Or have you done something completely different where you've just gone hog wild and eaten anything and everything? Or what do you think in general of this meal plan for today, the method of reverse dieting that Chris is going through? Very curious in your thoughts. I'd love to have a discussion with you down in the comment section. So let's do that. Love the boisterous discussions. But it's getting to be about that time. I gotta get up out of here. So I'll finish this off camera and see you in the next one. Bye.